Hello, how are you? I hope you're good. Okay. This might turn really dark again. I don't really understand. Today it has been all over the place. It was literally like nighttime 5 minutes ago and now it's sunny. Who knows? I am back with another magical readathon announcement. It honestly feels like the last one wasn't that long ago. This is a Harry Potter themed readathon, however you do not have to be a Harry Potter fan to participate. It probably is more fun if you are, but you don't have to, and I have friends that have participated who are not Harry Potter fans. And a readathon is basically just like a community event to motivate you to keep reading and make it a bit more fun, because it can get a little bit repetitive, I suppose. I created this and I was expecting a few people to join, but I did not expect it to take off like it did. But I am so glad I have found the best magical community there is. It just the feeling that we have over on Twitter, just like such a safe place. Anyway, what I'm saying is that we have grown into such a awesome community that share the nerdiness of Harry Potter and the love of reading, and if you would like to join, you are always welcome. I will link the videos down below of what happened last year, because this is gonna be a year 2 of this, but I will try and explain it very briefly here. I really wanted us to feel like we are at Hogwarts taking our exams, and it just really fit into an idea for a readathon. As you might know, there are 2 wizarding exams that people at Hogwarts take. So O.W.L., ordinary wizarding levels, and then NEWTs, which is nastily exhausting wizarding tests. It'll be really awkward if I don't get that right just now, but so we take our O.W.L.s in April and our NEWTs in August, so I have a little bit in between, and O.W.L. exams are just sort of more chill because you take those in 5th year, and then NEWTs are 7th year, the last year, and they are on another level. So that one is definitely more challenging, but you do not have to do them both if you don't choose so. And I also host then some side ones that are shorter, because these 2 main ones last the whole month. But there's a lot going on, and I will link all of those down below if you want to check out what had happened last year. We do make it though that the O.W.L.s that you pass, like the subjects for the O.W.L.s that you pass, only those you can continue in the NEWTs, and that is how we sort of run this. But at the end of the day, it's all for fun, you know, you do you, as long as you're reading and as long as you're having fun and communicating with people and making new friends. That's really all that matters. I am not a readathon police, you know, like you do you. But if you want to like sort of follow the rules, this is where it starts. So if you are watching this and you want to start from the beginning, every year this is where it starts. But enough of the recap, I would just really want to officially welcome you to O.W.L.s Readathon 2019. Yay! So this is coming to you a tiny bit later than I anticipated, just because last year I mentioned that I want to do a careers leaflet. You know how they get the careers advice when they do actually get that after the O.W.L.s, but we're not gonna focus on that. And I really wanted to do that, and I gave myself plenty of time to prepare for this, but the more I tried doing it, the more I wanted to do it like either the way that I imagine it or nothing at all. So it took me so many hours that my eyes are honestly like they're gonna bleed soon. But I have done it. I've created the sort of booklet for the careers. So the careers is a new edition. We sort of had like a little bit of that last year, but nothing officially added to the readathon. And that is this beast. And this is how it looks like. So first we have the content with all of the careers there, a little hello letter. So I'm just gonna quickly flick through this with you and show you what careers there are. I will link the PDF file for everyone and anyone to download for free down below, because this is for fun and I hope you guys like it. Logan and I have proofread these, but I have been working in tiny bits because I've designed these from scratch myself. So many a headache was had, and I feel like at the end of the day, it just like looked the same, you know, when you just do something for a bit too long and it just all looks the same. So I'm sure there's still gonna be typos and spelling mistakes, so I apologize for that, but we'll just simply have to deal with it and just not take it too hard. But yeah, so there's a little information on all of the careers. Some of them I made up myself. A lot of these things that are described here are absolutely non-canon. I am not claiming that they are, because they're not. I made a lot of things myself because there's not that much info from the books around these things. I've incorporated as much as I could, but it's fine. This is a completely additional. You do not have to follow any of these if you don't want to, but if you would like to pursue a career, especially if this is your second time doing the OWLs and you participated last year, if you want to have some sort of challenge other than just finishing a certain amount of prompts, this is a good way to go, because in every career there are OWLs and NEWTs requisites for pursuing that career. So you can, because we want to do this annually, I thought it was a good idea. So every year we can pursue a different career of our choice and qualify for different paths, you know. Try to include a good variety of more challenging careers and less challenging careers, like grade-wise, like the prompts and how many books you need to read. The first one is actually the hardest one, I believe. This one requires all OWLs, 5 O's and 1 E in NEWTs, so that is 17 books. So The Alchemist is really for those who really want a challenge. Then, oh god, sorry, I only had 2 staples at hand, so like the middle is falling apart. I am not prepared. Anyway, then we have Astronomer, Orologist and Orer, Broom Maker and Curse Breaker, Healer and Herbologist. Herbologist is one of the kinder ones, OWLs-wise. Hogwarts Professor and Librarian. Oh hi, it's editing me. So I said Librarian twice there because there was a file mistake in my bind up. The first librarian is actually a journalist slash writer, so the file I'll link down below will be correct, but in the printout there was a mistake and it was the same file twice, and in my excitement I didn't notice that when I was reading it, but there's another one and it's gonna be in the file that you guys take, so it's all good. Back to the thing. Hogwarts Professor is one of those that allows you the most choice, like the most freedom of what you want to actually take, because for OWLs it does say must pass 7 OWLs in total, but you get to choose a subject that you want to teach. Defense Against the Dark Arts is the only mandatory one, then 5 additional subjects, completely and entirely up to you which ones you choose. Then we have Librarian and Magizoologist, which are the 2 ones that I have shared on Twitter. Metal Charmer and Mind Medic, which Mind Medic is basically a magical psychologist. I had to include that since that's what I studied. Then we have 2 pages for Ministry Workers, because I've listed all of the departments and some of the specific requirements for these. We have Potioneer and a Seer. We have Wand Maker, and then we have 2 pages of magical vacancies, and then the last page is for notes. If you print this out, this is maybe where you can write down what your readings are. And that is that. I am so excited for you guys to read this. I will be asking a lot of questions about this later on. I will be so interested to see what you decide your career is gonna be. As I said, this is definitely not a mandatory thing, but I think it would be so much more fun that I don't know why you would skip that. But please, if you have already had a chance to look at this, let me know down below what you want to pick. I'm just so excited for you guys to see this. I did work really hard on it, but obviously it's something I personally wanted to do. I will download this in a parchment background, how I originally designed it. I personally printed them on e-parchment papers. I will also let you guys download a white version. So the white version, like the printer doesn't actually print the color white, so it just prints properly on like parchment paper. So it is getting much darker, but we're just gonna continue. If you want to get this or just have it on your laptop or a phone or whatever, I will link those down below. Some of you asked if you can buy these. I'm just giving them to you. This is all for the fun of it. I might though professionally print these into like little magazines at some point, and in which case I will possibly sell some, but probably mainly with the price that I paid for them myself. Share them if we want them like properly printed, but that's for the future. This is something that I hope to add some new professions and new little things later on, probably just at the back of it, or maybe alphabetically, because I did them alphabetically now, which I'm thinking now is probably like annoying for my future self. But that is the main change from the last year. I'm so excited for you. Like this has been my baby. I have bled to do this. I have spent every little second of my free time for the last month. I hope you guys like it. Anyway, moving on to the actual prompt. So similarly to last year, I will also upload a letter from McGonagall that's gonna look like this. So on this side we have the letter with the info on, and on this other side we have the prompts that are called revision topics. So I'm gonna quickly just read what the letter says. Dear student, your O.W.L. examination will commence on the 1st of April. Please find the main revision topics enclosed within this letter in hopes that they will guide you in your preparations. Please know these are very important for your future career, well worth skipping a gobstone or Quidditch game for. We encourage group studies at your house dormitories or the library. Revision sessions will be held for each subject. Please keep an eye on your dorm announcement boards. The last exam day is the 30th of April. Please remember that every exam passed counts toward your overall O.W.L. performance. You will achieve an acceptable after 2 past exams, an exceeded expectations with 6 past exams, and an outstanding by passing 9 exams or more. If you require personal assistance, please ask your professors for help after a class, or alternatively schedule a consultation with your head of house. Good luck, yours sincerely, Minerva McGonagall. So a few things to note here. I am well aware that 12 books a month is very much unachievable for a lot of people, me included, but I have to point that a lot of these things for myself are gonna be comics, graphic novels, short stories. As per last year, anything that counts on Goodreads counts for this. So please make sure that please be aware that no one's expecting you to read all of these books, and some of us only read 1 per month or 1 per 2 months, which is absolutely fine. Obviously in our community we do like to push ourselves, so I wanted to make this challenging. Definitely just adjust it to your own schedule and pace, because I know I will. A dorm announcement board is basically magical Twitter, which I also will link down below. As I mentioned, I do not personally use Twitter other than the magical one because I don't really like it. So if you don't have one because you don't really like it either, but you do want to join us there, I highly recommend joining us, because I think it's well worth it, but I might be a bit biased. But that is where all of the main information is gonna go throughout the month of April, and any other readathon that we have there for the magical readathon. The things that I'm referring to as revision sessions are actually gonna be reading sprints that I have sort of blocked into the schedule for quite often, I think every other day. Last time we did House Wars, which is, you know, for my, I don't know if you can see, it's right there, like the glass jars that I have for house points. The result from the last news is still there. Ravenclaw won. So last year during the Owls, it was the total books read, but because some of the houses have more people, it was not really fair, and averaging I didn't want to do, because then I felt like some people would not want to even say how many they read in case they would bring out the average down, and that is just not how we play, you know? We want everyone to feel welcome. And then in the nudes we actually had a daily question, so whoever answered got some house points. And this year there's gonna be actual sort of exam sessions, so there's gonna be, I will let you guys know beforehand when an exam is, and for an hour or so there's gonna be questions posted, and it will be directed at 2 houses only, so people from those houses I will mix the houses a little bit as well for each question, so to sort of get each other a chance. So the main points are gonna go, like the big bucks are gonna go from there, but also some of the little points are gonna be scattered all over Twitter, just like more freely. I have my good friend AJ already helped me out a lot with this, with coming with the idea of this, and also he prepared a lot of questions for me, which thank God, because I had literally 0 time with this. So if not for him, I don't know how I would have gotten all those questions written down, so a massive thank you to AJ. And he will also be hosting the Quidditch matches like he did last time. That's gonna be during the last week of the readathon. Other things to mention is that there is gonna be a 24-hour readathon within this readathon. Again, dates are gonna be released on Twitter. There's also gonna be a live stream at some point, which again, everything's gonna be announced on Twitter later on, just because I don't want to like commit to a date in case something happens closer to the date, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. It's not that I want to like not tell you guys stuff here, but it's just in case the date changes. I'm gonna just announce that closer to the time. And there is also gonna be a Instagram photo challenge with a wand of your choosing as a giveaway prize at the end of it. And obviously some like fun polls on Twitter as well. So we have things plan for this one, and I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it. The second bit that I was reading here about the owls, and you don't really have to care about that if you chose your career, because at that point the goal is to qualify for the owls level on that career path. That would be like the main goal. But if you want to skip the careers or your career does not challenge you enough, I've included these sort of levels of passing the owls overall. And so as I said, for just passing the readathon, you need to pass 2 prompts or read 2 things by those prompts. To have exceeded expectations, it's 6, and outstanding is 9 or more. So Hogwarts had 12 subjects and 12 exams. So for each exam I created a prompt, and by that prompt you would choose a book, or as I said, a comic book, a graphic novel, a short story, whatever. And if you match a book to the prompt and read it by the 30th of April, or by the end of the 30th of April, it means that you have passed that exam. So I'm gonna quickly go through the prompts just now. Obviously, like, some of you guys already know how it works, but for some of you it might be a first time, so I'm just trying to cover it all. But if you have any questions whatsoever, ask down below, I'll be happy to answer. And also I know the magical community here for this read along will be happy to answer as well, because everyone has been so lovely. So, for Ancient Runes, you would have to read a retelling. So anything that is a retelling of a previous story of sorts. So usually it's for some sort of fairy tale or a classic that is a retelling. It's modernized. For arithmancy, it's work written by more than one author. For astronomy, it has to have star in the title. When I say title, I mean a book title or a series title. The easiest way to find these kind of things is inserting star in the search bar of Goodreads, and then you will get a list of books. For Care of Magical Creatures, that is, you have to find a read that has a land animal on the cover. For charms, we went for Ageline Charm this time, remember that one? And that prompt is to read an adult work. For some of you guys, that might be the majority things that you read. For some, that might be something that you sort of avoid, which is fine. Then I would really recommend just reading a short story then, if it's something that you don't venture out often and you don't want to commit to a big book for a readathon. That is a good way to go. For Defense Against the Dark Arts, I went for Reducto, which is more of a DA type of charm, and that is for a title that starts with an R. That doesn't count the N or a D at the beginning, you know, if it's like the red something something, it still counts. So do you know what I mean? It's the first actual word in the title should start with an R. Again, if you use Goodreads, you can just alphabetize your to be read pile and see if there's anything that starts with an R. For Divination, it's something that is set in the future, so it's a futuristic read. For Herbology, it's plant on the cover. It can be anything. It could be a leaf, a flower, a tree, anything that counts as a plant. For History of Magic, it's a book published at least 10 years ago. For Muggle Studies, it's to read a contemporary book. For Potions, it's a next ingredient, meaning a next book in the series, so a sequel of sorts. And last but not least, Transfiguration is to read a book with sprayed edges, or if you do not own a book with sprayed edges, read a book with a red cover. And that is all of the prompts for the O.W.L.s Readathon 2019. Oh, hail. Hello. Literally just started like raining ice cubes, okay? I'm just pretending that I'm at Hogwarts and there's like a storm going out, so we're just gonna go with that aesthetic. So in very short, the way to go if you want to do the careers is to read this or just glance through this, see what O.W.L.s they require, look at the O.W.L.s list for the prompts here and select those that you need for the career. If not, you can just literally select how many you want and what subject you would actually want to do at Hogwarts and just go for that. There is also a Discord group, which is really, really nice. And you can be sorted into your Hogwarts houses and you can chat in the Hogwarts houses with your fellow students without seeing the other ones. So it's really, really fun. It's very much like self-run, which is brilliant, and it really brings people together there. So I highly recommend checking that out as well. I will link both Twitter and the Discord down below for you guys to join if you wanna. And last but not least piece of information, for those who have done a Charms Extra Credit readathon, that was I think a week-long readathon for Charms Extra Credit, please remember that if you have successfully finished some of the prompts there, that you have extra days for Charms alone. So if you decide to go for a Charms exam, which is the age line, read an adult book, you can start earlier because you have earned the extra credit. The way it worked was there were 5 spell prompts, and if you succeeded at those 5, you could start 5 days prior to the 1st of April. So you would have 5 extra days, only for the charms though. Do not cheat, McGonagall will know. So only for the charms, you can start the charms read earlier and then continue on, or even finish it, who knows. If you have done 1 prompt from that readathon, then it's 1 extra day, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, and 4 for 4. If you've done all of them, then it's 5 days. Just remember that if you have done that, give yourself the extra days at the beginning of the readathon before the actual date and before everyone starts everything. And I think now that is definitely everything. Please chat to me down in the comments, let me know what you are gonna do and what you're gonna read, and cannot wait for you guys to start sharing your TBRs on Twitter. If you are struggling to find a book for a specific prompt, that's where I would also suggest going, because on Twitter a lot of people share and you can check what they chose for that specific prompt that you are struggling with. And if you really can't find it, ask and people will help, because people are just awesome in this community. Thank you again so much for joining me. You guys are surrounding me with so much excitement and so much positivity throughout these readathons. It means the world to me. I honestly can't express it. I'm not very good at expressing that kind of thing, but it means a lot. So I cannot wait for us to dive back into this for 2019, and it is officially open. So let's chat down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!